Hey, courageous school leaders. Welcome to Lead Beyond Limits, the space where school leaders like you gain unfiltered insights from educators, uncover the hidden barriers holding your staff back, and get practical strategies to lead with confidence. If you're ready to tackle the real challenges in your schools and create the clarity your team needs to thrive, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and get to work.
Hello, check that. Good evening. I don't know if I can hear my microphone in here. I don't know if I'm plugged in. Hold on one second, good people. I hope you all are doing wonderful on this last Monday in March. I think I'm having me some technical difficulties. I did not check it. Let's see here. Well, how about that? You know, what can go wrong will. It's okay. Hello? Check, check, check. My mic is not working. My mic sounds nice. Check one. My mic sounds nice. Check two. All right, people. It looks like I'm going to have to do it without the microphone this evening. I hope you all can still hear me. I'm going to take my headphones off and plug everything just to make sure that you can hear me. Let's see. The mic and see if it works. Well, we're having some difficulties with the microphone today. That's okay. These kinds of things happen. So I'm going to take the headphones off. Or maybe. Hello? 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 Check, check. Well, I'm going to take it off. How about that? How about we not use the microphone today and just go like this? So hopefully you all can hear me. Thank you so much if you are joining in or watching the replay. I definitely am glad that you are checking in. I'm really excited about today. Our topic today is your students are already using AI, but are you leading the conversation? That's what I want to talk about today. Some of you may already know that I have been doing a couple of workshops on AI and how it can really streamline your work as a school leader. And I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about today. So today is really it's really about that, right? Like we know that our students are using AI and using it extremely well. Okay, so we want to make sure that as school leaders, we are in step with students and sometimes being ahead of the game, right? And so today we're going to talk about what that looks like. So welcome back to another Lead Beyond Limits session. I'm Dr. Demia Thomas. And if you've been hanging out with me for a while, you know I'm all about giving school leaders some practical, real, actionable ways to get out of overwhelm and lead with clarity and confidence, right? That is the key. So tonight we're going to be talking about something that is exploding in schools right now, which is AI, specifically how we as leaders can help our students use AI ethically and responsibly, right? That is the big thing. Because let's be honest, students are using it, and whether we acknowledge it or not, they're using it. The question is, are we guiding them on how to use it, or are we ignoring it and hoping it goes away, right? Spoiler alert, it's not going away. So tonight I'm giving you 3 key strategies, 3 of them. I don't know why this microphone is in my face because it's not even working. So tonight I'm giving you 3 key strategies to help you create a culture in your school where students use AI responsibly and ethically and in a way that actually supports learning and not shortcuts it. Okay. So before we dive in though, I want to make sure that you have your clarity and confidence reflection guide for this Lead Beyond Limits series. If you have been with me before, you know that the reflection is a key leadership superpower. I cannot stress that enough. I'm always talking about reflection. And that guide, the Clarity and Confidence Reflection Guide, is going to help you process what we are talking about, right? Not only tonight, but every Monday. But it's going to help you process what we're talking about tonight and take action, right? To think about the next steps. Also, I don't want you to forget my free live masterclass coming up April 23rd, from overwhelmed to in control, AI hacks for school leaders. So you don't want to miss that. That is free. April 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put the link in the comments. So if you ever wish you had 5 extra hours a week, who doesn't wish that? Then this masterclass is for you. Okay. All right. Let's jump in. The very first strategy is, but before we get to the strategies though, like I want to share, like when you're thinking about AI, let me backtrack a little. When you're thinking about AI, there are some things that we think about when we're thinking about AI and some of the pros and cons with using AI, right? So in all of the workshops that I've done, a lot of things that lift up with the use of AI is this ethical guidance, right? Those are the pros. As a school leader, you have to provide guidance on how AI should be used and what's the best way to use it. What are those ethical considerations? And some of you may be in districts where they're not even talking about it, ignoring it, or absolutely banning people from joining, like, signing on to specific AI links. So it's good for you as a school leader to get ahead of that. So some of the pros with using AI is you have ethical guidance that you can give your staff and students, right? Responsible use. You are actually going to model for them how to use it responsibly, right? It is critical that you are modeling how AI should be used in your school, not just giving guidance, but actually modeling that for them. And some of the other pieces here you can see is student preparedness. And we're going to touch on that because I hear people say it all the time in my AI workshops is, students are cheating. How do we know that it's really them? There are ways that you can go about doing that. I'm going to share that with you in a second. Innovation, right? What you're doing when you're using AI is that you're encouraging innovation. It's not going anywhere. Okay, that is a pro when you are actually using AI in your buildings. And collaborative learning. This is a growing process for everyone. Everyone is learning AI. It's new for everybody. So the opportunity to collaborate as a school is huge here. Some of the cons is that it can be resource intensive, right? Meaning there are some things that when you're using AI, like you should, in order for you to maximize it, there's some subscriptions that you need to, like I pay $20 a month for ChatGPT, but if you want everyone in your building to have access to it in a real meaningful way, that could be costly, right? Some people are resistant to change. Some people just don't want the new stuff. Some people want to stay working because what they had wasn't broken. So why should I try something new? We have potential misinformation, and this is very, very possible when you're using AI. And I use various AI tools, and I always double and triple check them to make sure that the information that they're giving me is correct. And the one of the most important things to understand when you're using AI is it really shouldn't be used as a research tool. It's really, especially given specific tools that you're using. But let's say ChatGPT, for example, it really shouldn't be used as a research tool. So if you're doing any research or asking questions about it, you really need to double and triple check your information. Ethical dilemmas are also considered a con for a lot of people using AI. I've heard people saying that for themselves as the adults, that it's cheating. I'm not really writing what I'm putting out there. If I'm typing up an email or it's producing an email for me, it's really not me. I'm really not writing it. And I push back on that. You are writing it. It's your ideas. It's your thoughts. That's a whole nother workshop. You're going to have to sign up for that on April 23rd. And then teaching trainer needs. How do we teach our teachers how to use it in a way that maximizes instruction and helps them even learn the content better? It's a win-win, but there is time. That is one of the cons of that. It's going to take time to train your staff on how to use AI. So let's jump right in with the first strategy for how you as a school leader can make sure that you are in step with your students. The first thing is you have to set clear expectations and policies. That's the number one thing, right? The number one thing. And you don't have to know AI through and through in order to set clear expectations. As leaders, we've got to stop being reactive about AI and start being proactive, right? We say that a lot in leadership training, that being proactive is the best seat to be in, right? A lot of times we can't help it. Some things you do react to, but AI is one of the things that you can definitely be proactive about. You can't assume that your students and staff know how to use AI ethically just because they know how to use ChatGPT on their phones, right? There's a difference. So it starts with having clear written expectations, right? And you can start by just jotting things, thoughts, questions that you have down in your head. So what is it, for example, you can ask yourself, or ask your team, right? This is a conversation your leadership team should be having is what is an acceptable use of AI in assignments, right? Some students will go home and type in the topic and have AI write their entire essay for them. Now, you as a teacher, you know your students and their writing abilities. You can pretty much tell which is which, but that's okay. They come back in with an AI written assignment. How do you increase the rigor of that assignment? You ask them to now write a rebuttal to that essay, right? There are ways that you can go around this and use AI to your advantage and actually increase the rigor of instruction. Another thing that you can ask your team is what counts as plagiarism or dishonesty when AI is used? What are some of the parameters that you as a school, like I said, a lot of districts are doing this, but as a school, you can do this too, right? To take the ownership. What counts as plagiarism or dishonesty when AI is used? And it is something that you have this discussion with your leadership team, you present it to your staff, you have your staff sit on the conversations, you even share it with your students. Because a lot of times we come up with policies and procedures and we don't share it with our students, and they should have an input. Another question you can ask is in order to create an expectation or policy around AI is, when is it okay for students to use AI as a learning tool and when is it not? Students need to be clear on what those expectations are, okay? Staff need to be clear on it, but just don't write a policy, right? Just don't write a policy, slap it in the student handbook. You need to teach it, you need to talk about it, and you need to model it, okay? Host student assemblies, do classroom walkthroughs, right? Have your teachers model how to use AI the right way, because if they've never been taught, they don't know. They're just piddling around in it, right? So teach them how to use it, model how to use it the right way for brainstorming, drafting, summarizing, but not for copying and pasting an entire essay, right? That is not what it should be used for. So as a leader, your job is to make ethical AI a part of your school's learning culture. And a way to do that is once you draft these policies and you gather input from all of your stakeholders, you just don't put it in a book. You're living it, breathing it, modeling it, okay? And if you're wondering how to know what expectations you even want to set, like where to start, that's where your reflection guide comes into play. So make sure you're tapping into that confidence and clarity reflection guide that goes with these Lead Beyond Limits series. Use it to reflect on where you currently are, where your school community currently is, and where the gaps are as it relates to AI, right? So the first step would be making sure that you're setting clear expectations, okay? The second strategy is teach students to critically think around AI. Hear me out. You can teach students how to think critically around AI. Here's the thing. AI can sound so slick and polished that students forget to question it. It's our job to teach them. Just because AI said it doesn't mean it's true, right? Help your students develop the critical lens. Have your teachers build assignments where students can cross-check AI generated information. They should be cross-checking that, right? With actual sources, right? Identify inaccuracies or bias in what AI spits out, because when you use it enough, you'll notice that there are some, like, you'll see a pattern of language that it populates for you, that it provides for you, unless you train it to have your voice, right? But have your students identify inaccuracies or any bias in the language, right? Just because a computer said it doesn't mean it's true. Have them say, well, I don't agree with that. I think AI is, I don't agree. Another thing you can do is have your students reflect on how they use AI and what decisions they made. So it has to be talked about in order to be used in an ethical way. That's the only way that it's going to work. So AI can help students get started on an idea, but it can't replace their brains, right? It can't teach them discernment. That's our job. So don't be so afraid of the technology and where we're going with AI. Our job is to teach our students discernment. And here's your leadership challenge. You ready? Are your teachers confident enough to have these conversations right now with students? That's something I need you to reflect on and think about. Are your teachers confident enough to have these conversations with students? If not, you need to start there. That's where you start, okay, with step two. That is where you start with step two, about teaching students how to critically think around AI. Teachers have to be confident to have these conversations. Use your staff PD time wisely and help them build that confidence. I have been using AI with some of my clients, and it has been really saving them so much time with the work that they're doing. And it's helping them see the connections, the things that they were thinking about already, and plans that they had already. AI is the responses, when they put in the prompts the correct way, is in alignment to what they were already thinking. I've seen teachers use AI to help them understand the standards better, to help them with their lesson plans, to help them understand how can I teach this topic, this standard, to a level 3 student, right? There's so many different ways that you can use it. And I'm going off on a tangent because I just really love everything about AI. So I'm going off, but I'm gonna pull it back to students. As a school leader, your challenges, remember, for number 2 is, are your teachers confident enough to have these conversations with students? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself, and check in with your staff around that, right? The third piece, right? So we talked about setting clear expectations here, establish guidelines for AI use, promoting accountability and understanding, right? Teach critical thinking, encourage analytical skills to evaluate AI's impact and use. So we talked about those 2 things as a strategy. And the third strategy is to make AI an opportunity, right? So you're going to frame AI as a tool for growth and innovation rather than a threat. So many leaders and teachers right now are scared of AI. So many. They're worried it's going to make students lazy. It's going to make them cheat, or it's easier to cheat, right? But the reality is it's already here. It is not going anywhere. It is accessible on phones, on tablets, on computer. Like, it is here. And when your student goes home and they're doing their homework, you don't know what they're using. AI is here, right? And we can either fight against it, or we can teach our students how to use it to enhance their creativity and learning. So this is a really good opportunity to encourage your teachers to assign tasks where students use AI as a starting point, but then they have to apply their own voice, right? Their own analysis, or even a personal experience. AI can't do that. So for example, a student can use AI to summarize a text, but then students explain what they agree or disagree with, right? Or they can give a counter argument to whatever the summary was. Another example is Students can use AI to generate some ideas. It's a great brainstorming tool. But then students have to develop their own actual argument. Another idea is let AI handle the mundane tasks, but require students to do the thinking and reflection. See how that works? You can partner with this tool, right? And it'll make your life easier. It'll help develop develop the critical thinking skills that our students need, right? So when we teach students to use AI ethically, we're not just helping them like avoid cheating. We're preparing them for the world that they're going to graduate into. The whole world is moving towards a technologically advanced society. It is getting more and more advanced every single day, right? And our job is to make sure that our babies are prepared for that. So embrace it. If you're afraid of it or unsure, connect with me. I have some workshops. I actually have that free masterclass coming up April 23rd. Connect with me. I can walk you through it step by step. This is leadership. This is future ready education, right? Education, it constantly evolves. This is a huge part of that evolution of education, okay? So if you're watching the replay, hit me in the comments and let me know if this is resonating with you. What are some things that you're thinking about? If you are watching live, I need you to take some time, especially if you have your reflection guide, your clarity and confidence reflection guide, to really take some time and go through that guide and think about the 3 strategies I just shared with you. If you want to catch this replay, you're going to need to go to Spotify or YouTube. Okay. If you are not on LinkedIn, if you're watching me live on Instagram right now, it won't be on Instagram. It'll definitely be on YouTube. So you can check it out there. So, all right, let's land this plane. Your role as a leader is not to shut down AI. It is to guide your students and your staff to use it ethically, critically, and creatively. Okay. So a quick recap of the strategies tonight. There are 3 of them. Set clear expectations and policies, right? Right here. That's how you're going to guide students and staff to use AI ethically and responsibly. The second thing is to teach critical thinking around AI. And I provided some examples for that. And then the third piece is to make AI an opportunity, not a threat, right? So you have to frame it as a tool for growth. So if you are serious about stepping into the next level of leadership, one where you're not just reacting to technology, but leading through it, then your next step is very simple. I need you to download or DM me for the link to gain access to the Clarity and Confidence Reflection Guide and complete it after this session. You can rewatch it again on Spotify or YouTube. And think about how your school is or isn't preparing students to use AI responsibly. The other thing, the next step, right? There's sort of 2, is don't forget to register for the free masterclass, From Overwhelmed to In Control, AI Hacks for School Leaders, happening April 23rd at 7 p.m. I will put the link in the comments. So I'm going to show you how to use AI to free up your time and to lead with strategy, not stress. Guaranteed, it will give you 5 more hours in your week. Guaranteed. I'm going to show you 3 things how you can use it in 3 different ways. Okay. So listen, y'all, leadership doesn't have to be exhausting. It really doesn't. I think we've been going about it the wrong way, and it is counter to how we really are supposed to be operating as school leaders. So it's about working smarter, building systems, right? And making room to lead beyond limits. So I'll see you next week. I want you to keep leading boldly and keep leading in the way that, is not overwhelming for you. Again, hit me in the DMs if you want to have a conversation to learn more about what I shared tonight. But again, register for that free masterclass, okay? All right, you all have a fantastic evening. Tonight was short and sweet. Use those 3 strategies, right? Start with questioning yourself and your leadership team. Use some of those questions to start the conversation because it's not going anywhere. All right, everyone, have a fantastic evening, and thanks for watching the replay and joining in.